Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Tuesday, the 16th of December. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to shoot trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com, and it's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, great. Let's have a quick look. Now, if you were reading my post-market charts yesterday, I was talking about a possible head and shoulders. We had a little level top which broke down here, but I ignored that and said the main pattern here was likely to be the possible head and shoulders that was forming, and that's broken down with the target in the 6740 area overnight. In Q, we already had a head and shoulders, and that had broken down with a target in the 24605 area, and on RTY, we've got a little head and shoulders, which is broken down with a target in the 2515 area. Now, it may be that all of these are going to fail up into the highs. I'm actually thinking they've got a shot, and they're a pretty good match with what I'm looking at on crypto as well. So I'm thinking these have a shot today, and I would note that on the historical stats, tomorrow is the only it's one of the only bearish leading days in December, but it's a significantly bearish leading day. And it's the only bearish leading day this week. Friday is bullish leading. So what I'm thinking is we may well go down to make these targets or get close to them, and then reverse back up to complete the where I'm expecting this rally to go by Christmas or shortly afterwards, which is the retest of the highs on SPX and Qs. And while we're doing that, we might see a bit of an extended second part of the rally on crypto. So I was writing about that into my crypto post this morning. I'm going to be posting these charts in a small post on equities shortly after, basically after I publish this video. So we will see where those go, but I'm thinking these have a shot. I think NFP was out this morning, and we've seen a bit of an upward reaction from that, but it's not lasting. And I think we might have unfinished business to the downside. So we will see how that goes. All right. In terms of sell signals here, I think we're more or less out now. The DAX one made target overnight. ESTX, still a possibility that might make the full target, but as it is, that's reached the possible near miss target already. Let's have a look on the bigger picture and see what we're doing on those hourly sell signals. All right, let's have a look at the hourly chart on SPX, where we've not made any significant further downside, and I would note that we've actually got, sorry, I haven't marked it in, but we've actually got an RSI 5 buy signal fixed here. So maybe that isn't going to make the target here, but we do have some unresolved negative divergence here. And we could resolve that by the RSI 14 sell signal on the hourly chart reaching the possible near miss target, which we could do today. How does that head and shoulders look here? Looks pretty damn good, actually. Hasn't broken down yet, and of course it might not, unless we go back and retest the overnight lows in RTH, but I'm liking that head and shoulder pattern. If that breaks down, I think that's got a shot. So, and the obvious time to do that would be in the next, by the close tomorrow. All right, looking at Qs. We were testing the daily middle band yesterday. We've not seen a conviction break below that, though we did see a significant break below that at the close yesterday, and the 50 DMA, which I've got at 613.56, more or less the same area, that's been broken slightly as well. Now we can see those reject back up today, but that does give an opportunity to go a little lower. And do we have a decent looking head and shoulders here? I haven't marked one in, but actually, yeah, it's not bad. And it would be, hang on, I'm just going to mark that up. Qs, of course, have been the weakest on this rally. This does not bode well for the longer-term health of the rally. But here we had a little level top that broke down and made target, and we've now got a little head and shoulders which broke down yesterday. And there's a target in. Right, that's got a target in about the 3.5 area. So again, I'm thinking that's got a shot. Do we have any positive divergence here? Yeah, we do. This is a fixed weak RSI 14 buy signal. So we do have mixed signals here. We do have some indicators that we might go up, but I think this downside scenario has got a shot. In terms of Dia, we don't really have on the futures or anywhere else anything particularly indicating a low here. No divergence on the 15-minute chart. No divergence on the 15-minute chart. It hasn't really come down enough to get that. But one thing I would note is that this is looking an awful lot like a bull flag. And this is the kind of bull flag, obviously, that could just break up directly, do a retest of the high, and that could fail the head and shoulder patterns on these other ones if that happens. In terms of IWM, we have, bear with me a moment. All right, on the hourly chart, we still got a weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed, and I'm still quite liking that on the downside. Do we have a shorter term reversal pattern like the one we've got on the RTY chart? Not really. Nothing of a quality that I would put down as a head and shoulder pattern. So we'll see. So that is basically a futures only one. We'll see how that goes. All right. In terms of the daily charts, bear with me a moment. Right. Daily charts, we're still somewhere above the daily middle band on SPX, I think. In terms of where we got to at the lows yesterday, the low yesterday was 48.46. That was a test of the daily middle band on SPX. On Qs, obviously we broke down slightly below that. And I have to say, if we weren't in the week before Christmas, I'd be thinking this might be a larger retracement starting. As it is, I don't think the timing's good for it. So I'm really thinking that we're likely to see more upside. I think we might see some short-term downside, but I'm thinking the overall uptrend in December is quite a difficult one to break. Dia and IWM have been the strongest. We are nowhere near the daily middle-band support on Dia, and looking at IWM, I don't think we're anywhere near it there either. No, we're not. So I'm not expecting either of those to hit their daily middle bands. I'm mainly looking at the support levels here on SPX and Qs, and we could see finding support there today, and it could be that we'll head straight back up to the highs from here, but I'm quite liking the downside. I think these patterns have a shot, and we'll see how that develops today. All right, looking at DAX, DAX holding pretty steady, well above the daily middle band. Doesn't look in any danger of backtesting it. Nikkei is backtesting the daily middle band, and I'd quite like to see this hold, or at least not break by much, to keep alive the decent possibility that we might go back and retest this high here at 52.6 in the next couple of weeks. All right, let's have a look at DX. Okay, DX, we've been running a little, not a lot. You can see the price is heading back into a retest of these lows. I am thinking we might see a reversal back higher here, but if not, then we're going to head down to the double top targets in the 97.37 to 97.47 areas. In terms of the other currency pairs, not really seeing an awful lot. Possible little top on GBP. I am still very much thinking we might see the dollar go down, and I think we might be seeing this move now to reach this possible flag support on USD/JPY. This one I'm paying quite a lot of attention to, and that's actually making pretty good progress and getting fairly close. Not really seeing possible level bottom on USD CAD, but nothing really springing to the eye on the others. ZB, we've got this nice looking falling wedge here. Now, bigger picture, we've got large head and shoulders is broken down with a target, and the 112 in the 112.04 area, and this is very well supported by inverse head and shoulders, which is broken up on TYX, on TNX, and on head and shoulders, which is broken down on TLT. But I am still viewing this as a potential inflection point area. We could reverse higher. I'm just thinking it's more likely that we go down. On ZN, we've got a nice looking double top that's broken down with a target in the 112.24.26 area, and obviously, as with the ZB one, this is very well supported on the bigger picture charts. Okay, looking at CL, I've been talking for days about the possibility we might come down and do a retest of this low here at 56, and we've seen it overnight. We've got possible 60-minute buy signal brewing, and I'm looking at this as a potential double bottom. Potential second low of a double bottom. So watching this area very closely. I am thinking we're unlikely to see much trade below 55, or at least not likely to see it last for long, but we could still get down into 50 or high 40s if we are going to see some continuation downwards. HO, we've also got a buy signal brewing. RBOB, we've also got a possible 6-minute buy signal brewing, although for some reason I didn't mark that in here, so bear with me a moment. I'll just do that quickly. Right, hang on. Right. All right. So here, I was looking for a retest of the October low, and we've seen it on our RBOB. HO, I was thinking we might well see that here too, and I'm really leaning towards seeing that. That is still significantly below, and of course, while we go and do that on HO, I would expect CL and RBOB to fall further as well. NG, and we've got this. This is not sustainable. This is a really tight decline, and this is a strong rejection of this move up into the 550 area. We've now come down 1.6 from that high. That is a very strong rejection. So where is this going from here? Well, I think we had a little falling wedge that looked like it might be breaking up. We've continued down. I'm still thinking there is a pattern here. It could be that we're breaking up from here now, but not necessarily. Do I have a decent trend line there? Nothing really compelling. So we could just continue falling down, but sooner or later we're going to see a big rally here. We do have a 60-minute buy signal fixed, but then we had one fixed yesterday as well. Right, I am wondering about a bit of retracement, maybe on the precious metals, not because of GC, where the 60-minute sell signal has reached possible near miss target, but we do have a sell signal that's fixed on palladium. And we got another one on platinum. So SI is continuing higher. We've seen a slight break below this rising support trend line, but it was only a 2-touch trend line, so I'm not taking that particularly seriously at the moment. And this was a lower high here, so this looks like a flag or a triangle forming that should retest this high. On palladium, no compelling resistance trend line. This one here could be overthrowing, but it could just be that this isn't the trend line. 60-minute sell signal has fixed, and I'm wondering about a bit of retracement. On platinum, the same. We've continued higher here. We've already retested the October high and gone higher, and I'm thinking, looking at the bigger picture charts, I'm seeing both platinum and palladium have an awful lot of potential to the upside. Looking at HG, we had this double top that broke down and then almost entirely rejected. I'm not taking this particularly seriously at this stage, but I am thinking we might see an alternate form. Looking at KC, I'm thinking that we're probably going to see a retest of the September low here. We will see how that goes. On SB, it's still fighting over the monthly pivot. We've still got this double bottom, which is broken up with a target in the 15.43 area. I'd like to see that make target, but this looks like an overall bear flag forming. So before we reach that target or after, I'm thinking we may head back and retest this low. Looking at CC, we've got a little rising megaphone here. It's quite nice, and it's broken down slightly. I'm thinking this might follow through and deliver a bit more of a retracement. If we did, and let's say back test of the monthly pivot, we could see a 60-minute buy signal brewing. Could this just fail back into the lows? Yes, bigger picture is likely to be down. CT, we did have possible IHS forming. I've taken that off the chart now because the right shoulder was improbably large. I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of this low, or we could be forming a bear flag, which could go higher and then come back and retest the low. Looking at lumber, we've broken up for a double bottom with a target in the 583 area, and then very little has happened. We've got a weak 6-minute sell signal fixed. On ZW, I was saying yesterday I'm leaning now towards seeing a retest of the October low as the obvious next target, and I think we're on the way there. Corn, I'm wondering the same, although it could be we'll just come back and visit this low here in the 434 area. So we will see how that goes. On soy, getting pretty close now to the head and shoulder target, which I've got in the 105.8.75 area. ZL is going down in sympathy, which it doesn't always do. And I was looking for a retest of this low here in early November, and we have now seen that, I think, or at least we're seeing that right now. Live cattle, just not necessarily a significant retracement here. We do have a 60-minute sell signal fix though. HE, we've got a large double bottom was broken up with a target in the 88.65 to 90.2 area. No current divergence. Not seeing anything to suggest that target won't be made. All right, great. Let's have a quick look at questions. Hang on. Is there a bottom in an NG? Not necessarily at all. This would be an obvious level to see a potential bottom. And we could see that, but I'm not seeing anything really compelling saying that we will see it. Also, the other thing is this rejection has been strong enough that it raises the question as to whether it's going to get down, it's going to go down further, and just resume the previous downtrend. And basically, that this was a failed breakup, which has then failed very fast and very, very hard. In terms of how low can oil go, as I was saying, there's going to be resistance getting much below, to trade any significant trade below 55. In theory, we could potentially get down into 50 in the high 40s, but I'm very skeptical about it going that far. I don't think that is sustainable. I think too much world production would come offline. And I think really world production is already coming offline just because Ukraine has been bombing the Russian refineries. I'm surprised. That was one major bar I was thinking that might prevent this coming back and retesting this low at all. I'm skeptical about it getting a lot lower. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. My pleasure.